I never breathed a word to my son about the 40 grand that hit my account every month, even though he watched me scrape by in the same faded cardigan and scuffed flats year after year. One random Tuesday, he rang me up, voice tight like a kid, caught sneaking cookies begging me to join him and his wife's folks for dinner at some swanky spot downtown. I smelled the trap before he finished the sentence, so I decided to play the broke widow card and see how these overseas in-laws treated somebody they figured had nothing. The second I crossed that marble threshold, everything flipped upside down, and what unfolded that night left my daughter-in-law and her parents gutted in ways they never saw coming. They had it coming, trust me, but before I spill every delicious detail, let me paint the picture of who I really am, because my boy Marcus, 35, and counting, never had the faintest clue about the woman who raised him. To him, I was just the quiet lady who clocked in at some nameless office, came home, bone-tired and stretched. Ground beef 3 different ways. I let him keep that cartoon version because money never needed to be my billboard. I grew up in a time when pride lived under your skin, not plastered on your sleeve, so I kept my mouth shut, lived in the same walk-up for 2 decades, carried a cracked leather tote until the strap frayed. Clean off bought clearance rack. Basics cooked from scratch, saved every dime and turned silence into a fortune. Real power doesn't roar, it watches, and I was watching close when Marcus called that afternoon. Mom, please, the in-laws fly in tomorrow, first time meeting you. We booked a private room. Saturday night? His words dripped embarrassment like he was apologizing for dragging a stray dog to a black tie gala. Do they know anything about me? I asked, calm as lake water. Long pause, then a mumble. I told them, you're in office. Clerk, live alone, keep things modest, nothing fancy. Modest. The word landed like a slap. I inhaled slow. Okay, son, I'll be there. Hung up, stared at my living room secondhand. Couch, no art on the walls. 13-inch TV, and right then I made up my mind. If my own kid saw me as a charity case and his wife's family rolled in ready to sneer, I'd serve them the exact fantasy they carried in their heads. I'd shuffle in looking broke, clueless, and desperate just to feel how they handled somebody with empty pockets. Corporate battlefields taught me instincts don't lie, and mine screamed. These people weighed souls on a platinum scale. Saturday evening, I dug out the saddest outfit in my closet, a shapeless dove-gray dress pilled and wrinkled from the bottom of a donation bin. Scuffed loafers, no jewelry, not even a $10 watch, hair twisted into a messy knot. Mirror check, I looked like life had chewed me up and spit me out, forgettable perfect. Hopped a cab, gave the address. To the kind of restaurant where the menu whispers prices in your ear and the silverware weighs more than a paycheck. Riding through glittering streets, I felt a strange buzz, half dread, half fireworks. Part of me prayed I was wrong, prayed they'd show kindness to the dowdy stranger. But the shark in me knew better. Cab stopped under a gold-awning doorman in white gloves, ushered me in like I might soil the marble. There they were, Marcus pacing in a charcoal suit, Simone in cream silk and 4-inch heels, her parents already enthroned at a round table by the window. Veronica emerald sequins dripping diamonds, hair sculpted into a severe bun, eyes cold enough to frost glass. Franklin battleship gray suit, Rolex the size of a hockey puck face carved from entitlement. I shuffled forward, shoulders rounded like I was apologizing for existing. Marcus spotted me first, his face-caved eyes raking my outfit. He actually swallowed hard. Mom, you made it, voice flat with panic. Of course, sweetheart, I croaked, timid as a mouse. Simone air-kissed my cheek, her perfume choking expensive. Mother-in-law, lovely to see you, her eyes said, get me out of here. She turned to her parents. Dad, Mom, this is Marcus's mother. Veronica lifted one manicured hand, limp as wet lettuce, a pleasure. Franklin, same half smile, no teeth charmed. I slid into the chair farthest from the royalty. No one stood, no one pulled it out. Waiter glided over menus thick as Bibles scripted in French. I squinted like the letters were hieroglyphics. Veronica leaned in, syrupy. Do you need help, dear? Yes, please. I don't speak the language, my voice small enough to fit in a thimble. She sighed, ordered for me something. Simple, nothing too dear, we don't want to overdo it. The words hung there heavy as guilt. Franklin nodded. Marcus stared at the tablecloth. Simone twisted her napkin into a rope. Conversation started, safe flights, hotels, jet lag, then Veronica pivoted smooth as a shark. We're at the St. Regis, 1,000 a night. The rental Bentley is divine we popped into. Sachs picked up a few trifles, maybe $4,000, nothing major. She watched me waiting for awe. I nodded, how nice. She kept going, we've always been prudent. Worked hard, invested smarter. Now we own homes in Lisbon, Cape Town, and Aspen. Franklin runs the show, I curate the portfolio. Her smile could cut glass, and what do you do exactly? Office work. I mumbled, eyes on my lap, push papers, file forms, simple stuff. Veronica traded a look with Franklin. Administrative, honest work, all labor is noble, isn't it? Of course, I echoed. Plates arrived, art on china, tiny portions swimming in gold leaf. Veronica sliced her Wagyu, this little bite, $80, but quality demands. A premium one can't just eat anything, right? I nodded, quality, yes. Marcus tried sports scores, work gossip. Veronica steamrolled right over him. Son, does your mother live alone? Yes, small apartment. Veronica, fake pity. It must be so hard at your age, limited income, no partner. Does the paycheck stretch? I manage. I whispered, save where I can, don't need much. She sighed, theatrical, oh, Ilara, you're so brave. I admire single warriors, though. Naturally, we want our children to have more than scraping, but we give what we can. Translation, I failed my son. Simone studied her plate. Marcus's knuckles went white under the table. I smiled tight. Yes, ma'am, we give what we can. Veronica swirled a $200 Napa cab. This vintage is exclusive. Do you drink wine, Ilara? Special. Occasions, only the cheap stuff. I don't know, good grapes. She smirked, not everyone. Develops the palate, it takes travel. Culture exposure, Franklin and I have toured Bordeaux, Tuscany, Napa, we're connoisseurs. Simone is learning, she inherited the gift. Simone, weak smile, thanks, Mom. Veronica, to me, hobbies dear, what fills your evenings? TV, cooking, park, walk, simple pleasures. Another loaded glance, how charming. Though one always yearns for growth museums. Opera's the world, but I understand not everyone gets the chance. I nodded, not everyone. Dessert arrived, gold-flecked sculptures, $30 a mouthful. Veronica licked her spoon, edible gold, only the best offer it. Then her face shifted, maternal steel. Family, we need to talk? Marcus tensed, Mom, maybe not. She raised a palm, let me finish. Ilara, I respect what you did. Raising Marcus solo. Truly. But he's married now. Responsibilities Simone deserves. Stability, we've helped enormously, down payment. Honeymoon, we'll keep helping. But Marcus shouldn't carry extra weight. Weight, I echoed soft. She sighed, at your age, modest income. It's natural he worries. That worry could strain his marriage. We've thought it through, we'll provide a small stipend, say 600-700 monthly, so you're comfortable, and in return, kindly give the couple space, less contact, no. Pressure, let them build their life. The bribe landed smooth as poison. Marcus exploded, Mom, stop. Veronica shushed him. We're adults, your mother understands, right? I dabbed my lips slow, let the silence stretch until it screamed. Then spoke, voice no longer small but steel. Generous offer, Veronica, let's clarify the amount. 6, maybe 700 to vanish from my son's life. She squirmed, not vanish, help. Help like the 40 grand you dropped on their house. Veronica preened, exactly. And 15 grand honeymoon, 3 weeks Europe. Precisely, love spares no expense. So 55 grand invested. I nodded, when you love, you don't. Count, but tell me, did it buy respect or just obedience? Veronica blinked, excuse me. All night you catalog? Prices, hotel, car, wine, steak, dessert, you never once asked if I'm happy, if I'm lonely, if my feet hurt. You priced my rags and found me. Worthless at 700 a month. She paled, I didn't. Did I cut in since I walked in? You weighed me on your scale, and the people obsessed with money understand its value least. Franklin cleared his throat. You misread my wife. Did I misread calling me a burden, offering alms to erase me? He shut up. I turned to Veronica. You admire scrappy single moms, ever been one, ever built a dime without? Daddy's seed money. He stammered, I manage. Manage what? His empire, his properties, his profits. Name one brick you laid. Franklin bristled, my wife works hard. Difference between polishing inherited silver and forging the mine, don't you think? Veronica, lips thin, where is this going? 40 years ago, I was 23, pregnant, abandoned family, ghosted secretary, minimum wage, studio apartment, rice and beans every night. Marcus stared, jaw slack. I continued, father vanished. I kept the baby, worked till 8 months. Returned 2 weeks postpartum neighbor watched. The crib I pulled 12-hour. Shifts nights. I studied library books. English, accounting, finance climbed. Secretary to coordinator to manager to director. 20 years blood, sweat, loneliness. Today regional director 5 countries. 100 million budgets 10. 1,000 employees 40 grand monthly. Almost 20 years. Silence thick enough to choke on. Marcus fork clattered, Simone mouth open, Franklin brow creased. Veronica frozen. 10 million gross not counting stock options. Marcus mom, why hide it? Because I wanted you chasing dreams, not dollars. I wanted a man, not an entitled Prince Money Rots character. I guarded yours. Simone whispered, then the tiny apartment clearance clothes, no Porsche. I smiled, freedom. I don't audition for strangers. True wealth hides in plain sight. I came ragged tonight to test your hearts, and wow, the verdict is in. Veronica crimson ridiculous. If you earned that, we'd know. I let you believe the lie because I live the truth, money invested, not flaunted. Franklin, this changes nothing. You deceived us. I deceived you into revealing yourselves, mission accomplished. I stood canvas-toed in hand corporate. Amex Black Platinum Unlimited slitted across the linen. Pay the tab, generous tip gift from the broke naive widow. Veronica stared, name engraved. Aller Sterling regional director, hand trembling, picked it up like it burned. I don't need your money, voice cracked. I never needed your pity yet. You served it all night. Take the card or don't. Etiquette demands reciprocity. Franklin slammed the table. Enough disrespect. Respect, I laughed. Where was yours when you quizzed my grocery budget, offered eviction money to buy my absence? He deflated. Simone, tears streaming, mother-in-law, I didn't know. You knew their hearts, you just ignored the rot. Marcus, mom, let's go. Not yet. Veronica, you speak 4 languages in which... Did you learn kindness? Because none showed tonight. Mouth open, no sound. Exactly. I walked out. Marcus beside me, night air, sweet freedom. Behind us, Veronica sputtered, this isn't over, we're family. I smiled. Every Christmas. I'll recall your offer. Every fake hug will taste like tonight, and you'll remember. I remember. Taxi slid to the curb. I climbed in, rolled the window. Marcus, mom, forgive them someday. Forgiveness isn't amnesia. It's conditional on change. Until then, polite distance. And me. Nothing to forgive. You loved me. Enough to worry. That's the lesson. Money can't buy. Taxi pulled away, city lights blurring. I felt lighter than I had in decades. The cab smelled like pine and old leather. Driver 60-ish, gray stubble, kind eyes glanced in the mirror. Rough night, ma'am. Something like that. Want to talk strangers or free therapy? I smiled. Maybe another time. He nodded. Suit yourself, but you look like you just unloaded a decade of baggage, and that's a win. Home was the same brick mid-rise 5th floor walk-up, no doorman, no gym, just quiet. I kicked off the sad loafers, peeled. The sad dress poured chamomile, sank into the couch and let the silence hug me. Phone buzzed. Simone, mother-in-law, I'm ashamed. Please let me explain in person. I left it on, read some apologies need to ripen. Next morning, Marcus called. Voice raw, we talked till dawn. Her parents doubled down, said I staged a circus to humiliate them, Simone finally snapped. Told them they were cruel, ungrateful, parasites. Whoa. Yeah, Mom, she drew the line, no more financial puppet strings. Respect or radio silence. How'd they take it? Stormed out, vowing to rewrite wills, cut checks, typical blackmail. But we stood firm. Relief flooded me like cold water after a fire. Proud of you both. Simone wants to visit, apologize for real, not knee-jerk guilt. Tell her Wednesday, give truth time to settle. Will do. Love you, Mom, more than ever now that I see the titan behind the apron. Love you too, kiddo. Sunday I walked the park, no destination, just breeze. And thought watched kids chase. Pigeons old couples share. Coffee and realized most folks here scraped by yet laughed louder than any penthouse I ever toured. An elderly lady in a threadbare coat sat beside me, tore bread for the birds. They don't care who's fat or flashy, they just eat. I chuckled, pigeons for president. She cackled at 82. I've learned the richest souls die poorest in spirit, always chasing the next zero. Her words stuck like burrs. Wednesday, doorbell, Simone. No makeup, jeans, ponytail, eyes puffy but clear. May I? I stepped aside. She sat, hands twisting. I grew up watching my parents claw out of dirt, they swore. Money was oxygen, so they hoarded it, flaunted. It used it to measure love. Explains doesn't excuse. Exactly, I stayed quiet, because defying them felt like biting. The hand that bought my braces my tuition, my safety net, but you ripped the net away and I saw sky. I'm done perpetuating the poison. Could start small. Ask yourself before every purchase, every brag, is this oxygen or ego? She nodded fierce. I want kids someday who judge hearts, not handbags, teach me. Can't teach lived truth, but I'll share scars start by listening to the quiet voice you muffled for years. We hugged real fierce, no pretense. She left lighter, vowing to redraw every boundary. Phone pinged. Marcus, she's glowing, says you handed her a new compass. I smiled. Compasses don't need diamonds to point north. Sunset bled orange across my tiny kitchen. I raised a mug to the woman in the window. Scars, wealth, peace, love, the only currency that compounds forever. 3 months later, Christmas. Eve, Marcus, and Simone hosted neutral ground, rented loft, no parental wallets involved. Veronica and Franklin showed early stiff smiles, designer coats still dripping entitlement. I arrived in my usual wool coat. Clearance boots, canvas. Tote, they clocked it. Nostrils flared. Simone greeted me, warm hug, no air kiss progress. Dinner potluck, everyone brought a dish. Veronica eyed my homemade lasagna like it might bite. Conversation tiptoed, then Franklin couldn't resist, so Aller still slumming it in that shoebox. Old habits. I smiled. Cozy keeps me grounded. Veronica fake laugh. Some of us prefer elevation penthouse views. You know. Simone set her fork down. Mom, Dad, boundary 1. No property flexing. Veronica sputtered, we're sharing blessings. Marcus, calm, sharing isn't scoreboard. Silence, thick gravy. Franklin tried again. Heard you closed that. Tokyo merger, congratulations. Must be nice signing 8-figure deals from a walk-up. I shrugged, numbers on paper, peace in my chest. Veronica leaned in, still pretending poverty for the optics, noble but tired. Simone stood, excuse me. Alar isn't pretending. She's living values. You taught me to chase status. She taught me to chase meaning. Room temperature plummeted. Franklin red-faced, we gave you everything. Simone soft, everything except permission to think for myself tonight. I'm taking it. Veronica tears, theatrical, you'll regret this when the inheritance dries up. Marcus gentle, then we'll regret less than living under blackmail. I raised my glass to choices, may we make ones that let us sleep. They left before pie coats flapping like wounded birds. Simone hugged me. Thank you for showing me strength doesn't need volume. Marcus fist bumped, proud of us, Mom. Snow started falling outside city lights, smearing into watercolor. I walked home, boots crunching. No cab tonight, just me and the quiet. Wealth of a conscience, clear as fresh powder. Spring forward 6 months. Simone pregnant, glowing, texting ultrasound pics, captioned heartbeats, net worth. Veronica sent a single edible arrangement, no note, pride still bruised. Franklin's lawyer mailed revised trust excluding Simone unless she apologizes for ingratitude. She framed the letter in the nursery above a tiny sign, love isn't inherited, it's built. Marcus landed a promotion, no parental strings. Attached, celebrated with grocery store champagne on our fire escape. I gifted them a college fund. Starter seed, no name on the check, just a note, grow wild, kind and free. Simone framed that too. One warm June evening, they showed up unannounced, takeout pizza and a 6-pack. Simone shy, we want to name her. Aller if it's a girl after the woman who taught us wealth is measured in sunsets shared. Tears snuck up on me, honor bigger than any bonus. Marcus grinned, middle name. Grace for the way you move through storms. We ate on the floor, laughed till midnight, city humming. Below, like a lullaby, Veronica called once, voice small, left voicemail. Wondering if the baby shower was open invitation. Simone let it sit 3 days, then texted yes, but kindness is the dress code. They showed gifts, modest, no tags. Bragging rights declined the country club. Venue chose the park instead. Veronica arrived in linen, not sequins. Franklin carried folding chairs. When Simone cut the cake, she handed them the first. Slice, no speech, just a look that said, prove the change. Veronica's eyes welled, maybe the first real tears in decades. I caught her watching pigeons fight over. Crumbs later whispered, they don't care who. Drop the bread, do they? She smiled, small, no they don't. Progress tastes like sheet cake and second chances. Fall again, Marcus Jr. Prom, Aller Grace toddling in footy pajamas. Simone texted video of Veronica. On the floor building, block tower's voice. High-pitched, goofy, no mention of square footage. Franklin sent a college fund contribution. Anonymous routing number only, note for her future choices. I saved the email, didn't tell them I matched it, triple folded into the same account. Some victories stay quiet. One October Tuesday, exactly 1 year after the dinner that wasn't. Marcus called Mom. "Can you babysit?" We booked a cheap cabin, no signal, just us. I arrived with board books and oatmeal raisins. Our Grace squealed, ran into my arms, chubby fingers signing more grandma. Simone hugged me fierce. "You gave us permission to be enough." Marcus kissed my cheek. "Love you, Titan." Door closed. I settled on the rug blocks, scattered. Toddler giggles echoing off bare walls, and realized the fortress I built wasn't brick or bank. It was this moment, love loud, enough to drown any balance sheet. Phone buzzed, unknown number, Veronica. I answered, neutral. Her voice softer than I remembered. "Aller, I was wrong about so much." The baby laughs like, "Freedom, thank you for not slamming the door forever." I watched Aller Grace stack a wobbly tower, pride blooming. Growth looks different on everyone, keep showing up. Hung up smiled at the tiny architect toppling her empire with glee, then building again. Cycle broken, one block at a time. Years blur Aller Grace. Kindergarten graduation, wearing a thrift store dress, proud as couture. Simone directs a nonprofit. Teaching financial literacy to single moms, no. Trust fund required. Marcus partners in a startup. Ethical green tech seed money from my quiet account. No strings, just a text. Plant good seeds. Veronica and Franklin. Downsize, sell the Aspen Chalet, donate proceeds to Children's Hospitals Anonymous. They visit every Sunday, coffee on my same chipped mugs, no Rolex, no sequins, just stories and oatmeal cookies. Veronica knits tiny sweaters, learns Spanish from YouTube to read bedtime books aloud. Franklin builds birdhouses with Marcus Jr. sawdust in his hair, laughing like a kid. One quiet Thursday. Veronica corners me in the kitchen, hands trembling. "I found your matching donation years ago. Why?" "Because every grandparent deserves to give without keeping score." She hugs me, first time ever, smells like lavender and regret turned gratitude. Forgiveness isn't a ledger, it's a living thing. Tonight, Aller Grace. 13 tall, lanky, asks Grandmom, "Why you never bought a mansion?" I set cocoa on the table. Simple things travel light. She nods, types a school essay on her. Hand-me-down laptop, title true. Wealth wears sneakers. Marcus reads it over her shoulder, tears proud. Simone snaps a photo, texts the group chat, no caption needed. Veronica replies with a heart emoji. Franklin sends a gif of pigeons sharing crumbs. I save the thread, close the phone, look. Around, same walk up, same couch. Same piece, and know the 40 grand still. Lands monthly, but the real jackpot. Is this table full of mismatched chairs, loud with love loud enough to echo forever. I never pretended poor again, didn't need to. The test was passed. The lesson etched in every laugh line, every shared sunrise. Money comes and goes, hearts that choose kindness compound daily, and that's the only inheritance I ever wanted to leave.